Right, I just realised I didn't show any of the goodies that I got at Odyssey. Let me quickly move all the stuff over here. I should obviously should have done this before I started recording, but you know that would be sensible. Oh no, there's still stuff. No, where the hell's that gone? Oh, got to the usual standard of dumb fuckery in my videos. Right, so there was a guy in the corner who goes there every year. He had a mate with him, and they had a big sea ration box full of patches, and it said £5 a patch. So you know, I think there was about four of us: me, Alec, Ben Cat, George, and we all start sort of rifling through them. Well, Alec wasn't really interested. Ben Cat went for a few of the armoured ones and wanted to get one of every different variation they had. George was doing the weird thing and looking for greenbacks because, you know, there are plenty of you out there that get excited about some green bobbing thread on the back because that makes them interesting. I know, if you're going to collect one of everything, I get it. You have to have green backs of things, but then when you display them, what do you see? You would display the front. So it could be anything. Anyway, so I start rifling through this box, and I sort of say to the guy, if I buy a load, you're going to sort me out some discount. And he sort of smiles and nods. I was like, cool, right, okay. So I built a big pile of patches, and while sort of rifling through, it was a really, really mixed box. It really was. There was a few things which come up quite a few times, like 75th patches, things like that. You do see a lot of. But then you start, you know, you start getting things like that. And I'm like, well, there's a shitload of bars there. And I sort of held it up and he went, yeah, that's in the box. I was like, okay, cool. So I put that to one side and a nice World War One 88th patch. You know, that's probably a 50 quid patch. Okay, awesome. A very small 40 Division World War One patch. Let's still find the World War One stuff first of all, because they're probably the most interesting what I got. It's probably Interwar First Army. Not amazing, amazing. PFC with aviation wings. Could be late World War One or possibly interwar. 9th Corps. There definitely is. Then you've got a lovely 5th Infantry Division World War One patch. Again, that's probably a 50 quid patch. 37th Bullseye. There's one of these on Griffin Military. I think he's got it up for about $60. So again, around a 50 quid patch. What else have we got here? Oh, we've got a, what's that? First Corps. First Corps? Yeah, I think so. Or Third Corps. Yeah, one of the two. And then you've got a really ugly version of it as well. World War One signals. World War One medical, and a tiny bit of cheese cup on the back. I believe that's World War One coastal artillery or something like that. It's probably Interwar 4th Army. Yeah, I'm not going to say that's well. I'm going to say that's Interwar. Those are the, no, they're not. Those are probably the most interesting World War One patches. And then there was a whole load of the World War One aviation units. 390th, 241, 337, 308, 257. And again, these were all marked as 5 quid each. And, you know, I put everything in a big bundle and I said how much. And it was definitely a lot less than 5 quid a patch. It was probably less than 3 quid a patch. I did go back a few more times and buy a few other bits and pieces. In this box were some 17th Airborne, so I grabbed one of those, and then I grabbed that one, and I realised it was reverse claw and got very excited. So I got a reverse claw 17th patch for about 3 quid. You know, these bargains are out there. You just have to look. Manhattan Project, or whatever you want to call that patch. Oofing Great Big 2nd Cav. A rather weird, I think this is from the same box. Actually, no, I think that was a different purchase. Actually, I need that to show you this one. There was a 3rd armoured div, but it's not in the normal sort of proportion. You know, it's the triangle's short and it's just a bit squashed looking. So I grabbed that just for an unusual oddity. A 40th. It's, I don't know. It's something. It might be a British made one, just by the fact it's, you know, it's not a square. It's sort of a trapezoidy type shape. 94th, I believe that to be just post World War II, when the unit went back to a sort of design like that. I grabbed an 88 just because, you know, you don't see too many over here. And I believe that's 74th Regimental Combat Team, I think. And again, so that whole lot of patches was, in total, probably way less than 100 quid. Yeah, I mean, there are bargains to be had out there. I mean, how much is a reverse claw 17th patch day? Oh, do you know what? Let's actually see if there's one on Fleabay now. Oh God, I guess we see all the patches over the keyboard. Go away. 17th reverse claw patch. Is there going to be one on here? Yes, there's a few. In the States, for 100 quid shipped, 70 quid shipped. Well, that one actually looks like the one I make, but no, it's not. And that one's 130 quid with shipping. Let me just shrink me down. There you go. So again, it's got the reverse claw. Mine doesn't have an airborne tab, but also that's an attached airborne tab. That's a lot nicer. There you go. So you've got that. It's all to do with, oh, for fuck's sake, that claw going the other way. What was the other one? Go away. So yeah, there you go. So the cheapest one. So again, it's almost 100 quid with the postage attached. I mean, an airborne tab's an airborne tab. Hold on, there we go. Now I've got an airborne tab. These are spare kicking around. So yeah, and that's almost identical to that one. Put it that way. So yeah, a ridiculously cheap find. Other than that, I don't actually think I bought a lot except food at Odyssey. Did I buy anything else? Come to think of it, oh, I bought a Carlisle pouch because I need another couple. Yeah. Other than that, it was all patches. Getting slightly patch obsessed. Oh my god, patch obsessed in this office, as you can probably tell. I need to finish my hoofing great big frames that are behind the screen. I've done 2 now, and it's from the 1st Infantry to 156, which is one of the Phantom units, and multiple variations of each. They used to fit in 1 frame, and now it's 3 frames covering the entire wall in front of me. So I've got a whole load to put in there, including DIs as well. Anyway, I will show those once they're done, whenever they ever become done. Yeah, a quick video on the toys from Odyssey. Hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, never mind.